Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of this growing community of ours. Today, I want to talk about something that I'm dealing with in my current business, or I should say that I dealt with in my current business. And it made me realize that I don't do enough episodes on the importance of a good team. And if I'm just being honest, I look back to 2025 and I think about my business, Sixpack, which is a software company that I've talked about a lot. I had this moment about mid-year, call it May, June timeframe, where the product was not where I wanted it to be. We were months after release, call it 6, 7 months after our release. And, we had the moment where we realized our platform is good, but it's not going to be able to get us to the big leagues. And I made the decision to pretty much change my entire team. And we rebuilt the platform from the ground up. We changed the support infrastructure. We changed the onboarding flow. We changed the way that we sell and market. And it could have been a time where many business owners and entrepreneurs might have pulled the plug. They might have just said, I put too much time and effort into this. It hasn't gotten where I wanted, and the business is a failure. And I did think about that. Like, that did cross my mind that, maybe I bit off more than I can chew. Maybe going down the path of software was just too hard right now. And I could have done that. And then I met some good people. And I ended up hiring a bunch of really talented people, both on the development side and on the support side and on the sales side. And what we did is we kind of reformulated the entire business. We started to look at the reality of what the customers needed. We started to look at, how we marketed to them, setting expectations, through the sales process. And then how do we onboard customers so that they can have an immediate success? And it was tough, right? Making this pivot, we had to go backwards, which for a startup company that's already outlaid cash is hard to do. But I made the decision that once I had the right team in place, that doubling down into the business was the right move. And, while we're not out of the woods yet, we are a few months past our re-release, if you will. We've grown at a much faster clip. The platform and the product is stable. It's, really, really liked by our client base. And I have a team that helps me to really move the business forward and doesn't bog me down in the details of things that, frankly, I'm not very good at. And so I really want to talk to entrepreneurs that are getting started and the importance of having the right team. And the right team might actually be hard for you to find. It might be, where you go through a couple different people and or, departments, if you will, to get to that right place. But once you find that right team, taking good care of them, making sure that they're appreciated, obviously in startup mode, it's hard sometimes to pay people what they might be worth, but making sure that you try to make right by them as best you can and talk about the future and where you're going. And as you start to build these things out, having that right team changes everything about the business. And now as I look to 2026, I am very excited. Like, I am incredibly bullish and pumped up about where my business Sixpack is going. And it's all because we made the decision to, kind of pause, be honest and reflect on what we've done so far, and made the determination that we need to make changes on the team. And by doing that, we propelled the business forward. And I think 2026 is going to be an amazing year and really set the tone for what we're trying to do as a business. So if you're going through this, if you're kind of second guessing who you have on your team, or you've heard the expression bus, boat, whatever you want to call it, if you're second guessing those things right now, like, use this opportunity while you're small, while you're growing, and while you can afford to make, mistakes and risks, or take risks, like, make changes, put the right people in place. You'll know when you have them. It's kind of like when people say, when you meet the right person, you fall in love and you just know. And I was fortunate enough, over 2 decades ago to experience that, where I met the right person and I just knew and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with them. Well, finding the right team is a lot like that, maybe without the lust and the rings and flowers and all that stuff, but you get the point. Finding the right people, you just gel, you just know. So don't be impatient, go through necessary steps of evaluating people, make sure that you really are objective about things and you don't just try to fill needs you have needs for today, but you start thinking about the bigger picture and the longer term of the business. and make long-term decisions for your business, and you will be successful. All right? Apply this to your own business. Please remember to like and comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and most importantly, share it. Share it with somebody else that can benefit from this. We're trying to help entrepreneurs who are changing the world. They're disrupting, they're innovating, they're making the world a better place for you and me, and I want to help in any way that I can. Have a great day, everyone.